Now, remember, Monday, the judge in the Jodi Arias murder trial is going to hear arguments in an evidentiary hearing. The defense attorneys accuse the prosecution of misconduct and plan to call a man named Gus Searcy to the stand. He works for a company called Legal Shield, based in California. You see his picture there? It's right underneath that big picture of the handcuffs. That's Gus there. He used to be called, or that company, rather, used to be called Prepaid Legal. I know you've heard that before. That's where Jodi Arias met Travis Alexander. In-session correspondent Beth Karas is joining us from Phoenix right now to talk about the hearing and the defense's case, which, again, starts on Tuesday. So, Beth, first of all, kind of walk us through what we anticipate from Monday's hearing.
Well, good morning, Christy. The hearing begins at 12:30 Eastern Time, and it might be short. I mean, they say they're going to call this man Gus Searcy, whom I spoke with yesterday. He would not tell me what he's going to testify about, but he was surprised when I told him that the notice that the defense filed a few days ago that says they're going to call a witness on Monday, Gus Searcy, is because he will speak to the issue of prosecutorial misconduct. And he seemed surprised. He said, well, that's the first I knew that. I had no idea about that. But I said, what is it that you can offer? And he said, I will leave that for trial. It turns out he's a trial witness for the defense as well. They filed notice of him as a witness at trial a few days earlier. And I said, well, what do you do? And he told me he's in the upper echelons of Legal Shield, formerly Prepaid Legal. And I said, well, did you know Travis? Do you know Jodi? He said, I know both of them. And he wouldn't go further. So I mean, that's all I can tell you. He wouldn't tell me anything else if he ever saw them having a fight or, I mean, he's got to have something that's helpful to the defense, right? Not the types of witnesses we've seen the state call of people who knew both of them. He must have something he knows about them, Travis and Jodi, and their relationship that would be helpful to the defense.
So we anticipate to hear, just to clarify, we anticipate to hear from him not only on Monday, but in the trial itself?
Yes, I found two notices. The document is a notice of, witness. It's alerting the court and the other side, alerting the court and the state that we've added a witness. And they filed two of these regarding Gus Searcy. One on January 23rd, saying we're going to call him at Monday's hearing for the 28th. And the other notice they filed, I think it was January 15th, saying we're adding him as a trial witness in the guilt phase.
Okay, now I know that when we look forward to this hearing on Monday, some people might be wondering how much is at risk with this hearing. I mean, I'm sure there are viewers wondering, is there any chance the judge will make a significant decision that could change the course of this trial in this hearing on Monday? What can you tell us about that?
You mean a risk in terms of jurors being home or delaying the trial?
Yeah, either delaying the trial or, arguing, ruling in favor of the defense in some way that would knock this trial out?
Well, it's hard to say because I don't know what Searcy has to offer, so it's hard to say, how much merit there is to this. But this is a capital case, and the defense is vigorously defending her, and they raise issues and preserve the record. And, Monday was only going to be a half day anyway. I understand that Kirk Nurmi, the defense attorney, had an obligation in the afternoon, so it was only going to be in session in the morning anyway. So it's not like the jurors are, away from the trial for a long time. It seems like a long time. This was only going to be a 2-day week. Monday was only going to be a half day. It's really only 2.5 days taken away from the trial because of this delay, so the defense could have a little more time to prepare. But you kind of make sure, you kind of bend over backwards and make sure that you're giving a defendant every, opportunity to fight every issue when it comes to a capital case. I mean, that should be the case in any criminal trial, but it's certainly more so in a capital or death case.
Okay, so Beth, when we know that Gus Searcy is going to be a player in the defense's case, do we know anything else about how the defense is going to start its case on Tuesday?
No, the defense attorneys aren't talking, but we do know that they are putting on a defense of domestic violence, of abuse, and that they're going to put on a psychologist and a domestic violence expert who's not a psychologist. She's like a social worker, but she has extensive background in dealing with battered women. And it is expected that these witnesses are going to opine that she suffered from battered women syndrome and PTSD. And so if the jury believes that, that can be very powerful because they will then take that testimony and reevaluate what went on in the bathroom. And maybe all that anger and rage is more understandable because it seems like it's overkill. Like, what could he have been doing to her to make her do that to him? But I suspect we're going to hear that, all this rage comes out when someone's been battered. They just keep stabbing and stabbing or whatever because they're just getting it out of their systems. I don't know. I think we're going to hear something like that. So I don't know at what point these experts will testify. They do have some civilians they may call, and of course, Jodi Arias is always a possibility, and, we usually don't hear whether a defendant will testify until, like, the last witness. So who knows if they'll testify.